everyone, it's Rod with Weichert Realtors Equity Northwest coming back at you with another video. Today, we're going to take a look at the 6 condominium developments in downtown Vancouver. So hey everybody, before we get started, do me a favor, please hit that like and subscribe button so we can keep the content coming about what's going on in Vancouver, Washington. So we're going to look at the 6 condominium developments in downtown Vancouver. Now, this is downtown, the Esther Short neighborhood and the waterfront. So we're not talking about Columbia Shores or Uptown or any of that, just downtown today. I'm going to do these in chronological order. Let's start out with the ever-charming and vintage Academy Square. Academy Square are buildings that were built in the 1940s. They were converted to condominiums at some point along the way. I really don't know exactly when, but these are charming units. And let's take a little dive into what is offered here. This aerial shot gives you an idea of where Academy Square is located. So this is Academy Square right here. It takes up the full city blocks. Kind of zoom in, you will see in the area there's some new development. There's a building 2 blocks over to the west that's under construction right now. I've got a model there of what the building will be like when it's completed. It's topped out, so it'll be completed next year. And then right to the south, you can see a brand new building that's actually up, and then you've got the proposed complex kind of in the bottom right of the screen here. And they should have had that built a year or two ago, but I think the freeway project to support the new bridge is probably making them wait to see whether they're going to lose some of their land. You've got quick and easy access to Interstate 5 using the Mill Plain interchange right over here. So the location here relative to Esther Short Park, you can see is just right over here. And then the waterfront, which is a very popular attraction, is right over here. So parking is on the street. There is some dedicated resident parking and then also street parking. So that's, kind of a disadvantage to Academy Square. You don't have secure parking. But when we look at the pricing and the HOA fees here, you're going to find that there's a reason these are so popular. So here's a listing. It's the only one currently listed for sale. You'll notice the price, $280,000, very reasonable. 1 bedroom, 1 bath, 517 square feet. Almost every unit in this development is a 1 bed, 1 bath with roughly this amount of footage. So they're all, there's a couple of anomalies, but just about everyone is going to be like this. And this is the price that they tend to run in. Charming buildings, beautifully well-kept grounds. They're quite nice. This is not the front door to the unit, but the front door to the lobby. It is secured with a lock and a passcode that only the homeowners have. Inside that door, there's a lobby and a stairwell up to the upper units and doors to the individual units in that building. So you can see, again, well maintained, nice grass and flowers and everything's groomed. You've got this apartment building that's built a few years ago there. Another one will go up over here, up in this top left corner, as soon as they get things squared away there. So here's the actual front door of the unit. Did we just see a real-time price change? So here's a staged version of the living room, and then here's unstaged hardwood floors there. This is an air conditioning unit. There is no central air. These are old buildings from the 1940s, but they do have central heating. So that was put in. They used to have radiators in here, but over 20 years ago, I think it was, they put in central heating. For such a small space, 1 bed, 1 bath, 500 squares, that's a nice open room there. So you have the full width of the building, so you've got windows on 2 sides of the building, which kind of nice, helps make it light and bright. Here's a staged sort of dining set at one end. This kitchen's been completely redone. It's quite nice. This is a staged bedroom shot, and then there's the bedroom unstaged. Bathroom's been redone with a modern fixture here. They got laundry in this little closet here. They used to have laundry facilities down in the basement that were available to the residents. I don't know if they still do, but I suspect they're still there. It's been it's been a year at least since I've been in Academy Square. Here's nice. The grounds are just so well kept. This is an apartment building here. So that's Academy Square. Next up, dating back to 1999, this was the first development to really jumpstart the whole renovation of the entire Esther Short neighborhood. These are called Heritage Place. These condominiums are still in very high demand today. So let's dive into what Heritage Place is all about. Okay, these are the two buildings that make up Heritage Place. It's two full city blocks right across from Esther Short Park here in the center. Okay, so Esther Short Park is very busy, particularly in the summertime. Lots of festivals, events, concerts, all kinds of stuff goes on in that park. You even have the farmers market, which will block off the street right in front of Heritage Place and Esther Street along the side there. So on the weekends, you will have some traffic blockage. Of course, the upside is you get to just walk there. Okay, Heritage Place. This is one of two units currently listed in Heritage Place. This one, $630,000, a little bit more on the expensive side for this development. Your HOA fees in here are actually not terrible. It's $800. You do have some facilities in here that you get to take advantage of, and a deeded space in the garage. But you also, this is well under $1 per foot, and a lot of them are up to $1 a square foot now. This is 2 beds, 2 baths, 1,015 square feet. There'll be some photos here of the surrounding area. This is a public courtyard here. This is a private bridge that connects the two buildings together. Over 200 units in this development. Here's another angle. You've got Thai restaurant here. Lots of shops and restaurants, a little Starbucks over here. On the other side of the complex over here, you've got Subway sandwiches and a bookstore and some other merchants as well. This is the entrance to the lobby. Secure building, of course. Nice wide hallways in here. These hallways are really, really wide. You could have 5 people side by side walk through these hallways. I've always found that kind of interesting. So here's some photos. I'm going to blip through them pretty quickly here. This one has had some minor remodeling over the years, but it's kind of stock. You do get a gas fireplace, which is really a nice touch. It looks like they're showing you staged images. This one does overlook the park. Looks like they're preparing for the farmers market right now. So that's why you see the dumpster and some barricades there. Here you're looking out over the park. You're only on the 2nd floor, so you're not very high off the street. But it's a more engaging experience with the park at this height, because you can see under the canopy of the trees, people walking around and all of that. When you get up higher, 3rd, 4th floor, you're looking kind of into the canopy of trees. It's very pretty. It's just green. But, you're just looking at the birds and the trees. And then you get up in some of the other buildings that are, more than 5, 6, 7 floors, and you're seeing over the trees and over the park. Different types of view experiences. Okay, this is original here from 2000 or 1999. These units, they have the wood trim that was real popular in the 90s, kind of faded out a few years after these were built. I've never minded that kind of warm wood look. Some people don't like it. That leads out to your patio. It looks like they had modern sinks put in here, but that's probably the original counters. This looks like a little extra space on your patio. The patios wrap around the little bump out in the building. So you've got a door here, comes out to this part of the patio, and then there's a door on the other side, goes out to the other side of the patio. They're pretty good sized patios. This is the common community clubhouse area. And, we'll flash through the photos of that. Kind of nice little kitchenette area. You can reserve this room for private events through the HOA, combination ping pong table and pool table. And this is the fitness room. These are the courtyard patios. So the buildings wrap around this courtyard. The interior units all face this courtyard, and then the exterior units all face the street. So you either have a view of this courtyard or a view of the street. South-facing units, of course, are looking at the park. This is a private bridge that connects the two buildings. There's a little sitting area there. Here's an aerial, kind of shows you the units or the buildings, how they're juxtaposed to the rest of the city. This is your waterfront area over here. This is Vancouvercenter over here. Your parking is in the garage underneath the buildings here, secured by a gate and electronic access. There's the overview of the park, the two buildings for Heritage Place here. That's it for Heritage Place. Next up, we fast forward to 2001 when the 500 Broadway building was erected. It's not a real tall building, just 6 stories. It's got 4 stories of office and 2 floors of luxury condominiums up top. This is Frontier Block. Okay, let's fly on over to the Frontier Block at 500 Broadway. One of the first things you'll notice is that this building is perilously close to I-5. When you are out on your patio or using your Juliet balcony on the 5th floor units, you will have a lot of freeway noise. There's no sugarcoating it. Now, this building is really well insulated. Even though it's a almost 25-year-old building, it's pretty quiet actually inside the units. But there is a little bit of freeway drone, kind of a background drone. I don't find it distracting at all in any way, shape, or form, but people sensitive to that sort of thing will not like it. Okay, so the units in this building are on the top 2 floors up here. Below that is a commercial office building with Class A office space. The garage here in the back, the 3 levels above ground in that garage are public access. There is a gated, secure entry to a lower level, and that's where the deeded parking for the residents are. Again, you get a deeded space. Some of the units have 2 deeded spaces, so that's kind of nice. So the south-facing units get to see the Columbia River, but the north-facing units get a pretty open sort of urban city skyline view here. And all of the tall buildings like Smith Tower and 805 Broadway, those are far enough away that they don't really block your view. So it's a kind of open sight line there. 500 Broadway actually sits at the T intersection of 6th and Broadway, and it actually faces 6th Street. But they gave it the 500 Broadway address anyway. This is the only one currently listed in the building. It's $925,000. It's pretty much for the footage, 2,100 feet. That's probably an appropriate price. And we've seen closings that support that. Here's your main entrance. It's a traditional office lobby. To get into the building, if you're a resident, you have a private little mailroom and private access to a residential elevator. So here's this unit. These are the original floors. These were very, very high end when they opened in 2001. And these were the types of floors that were in vogue at the time. But, they're not the types of floors we're seeing in the modern stuff, but they are very good hardwood floors. Gas fireplace in these as well. Here's your view out the window. You're kind of looking over the freeway interchange. You can see the Columbia River here and the interstate bridge. Keep in mind that when this bridge is removed and the new bridge comes in, the new bridge is going to be taller. It's not going to have these big lift towers, but the roadway is going to come in about here. So that may affect the view a little bit. So they're capitalizing on the fact that there's a river view. Here's a little nighttime. That's a nice wide open floor plan there. You can see all the way, the front door is way down here, and it's just really spacious. Again, there's almost 2,200 feet in this unit. I like the rounded countertop here. Good sized kitchen. Good sized utility room as well. I know I'm going kind of fast on these guys, but you can pause the video, take a look at this stuff. I just don't want the video to run too long. Here you'll notice it, particularly at night, but also in the daytime, the taller buildings in downtown Portland peak up over the hill. There's a little bit of a hill or a ridge between downtown Vancouver and downtown Portland. So just the taller buildings are able to poke up above that ridge. But this is downtown Portland off in the distance there. It's about 6 or 7 miles away. Here's more of a northern viewpoint of the or looking north over the building here. This is the parking garage for the public. It's 3 levels, but there's a ramp down to a underground parking area with deeded spaces for the residents, and it's secure behind an electronic gate. Keep in mind, you see how these cars are parked on a slight slope? That's how the cars are parked on the secure part of the garage. So you will be on a slight slant. Here you can see the interior of the garage. Slight, it's not a steep slope, but it is a slope. Okay, here there's a couple of locker storages behind this door. There is, from the parking garage and these storage units where you're 1 floor underground here, there's a direct elevator that takes you up to the residential units. So you never have to go outside of the building to get into this facility. So that's kind of it for Frontier Block. Okay, third on the list. These were completed end of 2003, first part of 2004, and are part of the Vancouvercenter complex, which at the time was the largest commercial project in downtown Vancouver. There are 4 buildings now. Originally, they built just the 3. The 4th building was completed in 2020. It's an apartment building. But today, we're going to talk about the Parkview condominiums. Okay, let's fly back over to Esther Short Park and Vancouvercenter. The entire 4-building complex is built on top of an underground 3-level garage that's owned by the city of Vancouver. In Parkview, if you wish to park in the 3rd level secure parking, you will have to pay the city $120 to $140 a month. So Parkview sits right on the eastern flank of Esther Short Park, and like all the comments I made about Heritage Place, you have the same scenario. It's a busy environment, lots of festivals, concerts, the farmers market, and all of that. but it is really one of the most premium spots to be in downtown. Okay, Parkview. These are, there's only 2 units currently available in Parkview. This one's on the 4th floor and it faces east into the interior of the Vancouvercenter complex. Priced at $344 here. You got about $800, a little over $800 for dues, about $1 a foot. This is the entrance from the outside to the lobby of the condo tower. Here's your corridor. This is the unit. I just recently sold this unit here, which faces the park. This is a great location. Parkview's at a great location. I've been in this unit, showed it several times. It's really nicely done. The lady that owns this has done a really good job. This is the office building, Vancouvercenter 3, and it's a significantly taller building than Parkview. And so no matter what floor you're on, you're going to be looking at this building. It is office. There are condos at the top, but the Viewpoint condos at the top of that building are way, way above the units in this building. So you're always looking at office space, which typically is empty at night. So here's your front door. You come in here, you got your kitchen right there, a little galley kitchen, and then it opens right up into the living room. This kitchen's been nicely remodeled. Slab surfaces, custom cabinets. This is one of the 2 bedrooms. The larger of the 2 bedrooms, got its own bathroom suite. Double closets in there too. This is all these units have a little utility closet. As I may have mentioned earlier, you do not pay for hot water, heating, or cooling. That's all paid for by the HOA. So that saves you a lot of money, especially if you like to keep it frosty in the summer and warm in the winter. Here's just pictures of the park across the way. Parkview fronts the Esther Short Park on the east. So they're going to show us a lot of park images here. And then back to the main lobby. This is looking at it from the park side of the street. And there's the cluster of 4 buildings are all right here. And there's a sort of this used to be a street. This is 7th Street, but they turned it into a pedestrian parkway. This is a public elevator that goes down to the public parking garage. The city of Vancouver owns the parking garage. The private garage for the residents of Vancouvercenter is on the 3rd floor underground. And this elevator cannot access that lower garage. You have to have a key fob for that. Though the parking garage does service all 4 buildings independently. Here's the lobby, all the mailboxes, parcel boxes, completely secure lobby. There's a little private courtyard out here just for the residents of this building. And so that's kind of Parkview. Okay, next up, right behind Parkview, is an office tower of 11 stories with the top 4 floors being luxury condominiums. This is, of course, the amazing Viewpoint. Well, we don't have to travel far to get to Viewpoint because it's right behind Parkview in this much taller building. This is the building I talked about with the Parkview unit that is an office building, and then on the very top 4 floors, you've got luxury condos. and that's what makes up Viewpoint. All the same amenities that you have, the proximity to the park, and all the downtown services, they all apply here equally to Parkview. And one last thing about Viewpoint, every single unit in this development has a great view. All right, this is Viewpoint. Now, this unit, I got to say right off the bat, is a little bit of an anomaly. This is actually two units that were bought by the same person and then merged together to form one large unit at nearly 3,000 square feet. Um, it's my favorite condo, maybe in all of downtown. It's by no means the most expensive, not even close, but it is amazing, and you'll see why here. Being that it's two units squeezed together, it's the largest unit, and it's the absolutely best location in the building. South-facing, takes the full width of the building. You've got glass on three sides, nearly floor-to-ceiling glass in here. This unit is bright. Even on a dark January cloudy day, it's going to be bright in this unit, which is really, really nice. Here you got the city view at night looking straight south. Here you're looking over the older part of Vancouver. This is the Main Street corridor right here. So there'll never be, never say never, but it's highly unlikely in any of our lifetimes that we're going to see any really tall high-rise or skyscraper type buildings here, because Vancouver kind of protects this district as the old Main Street USA kind of district. And all of these buildings are pretty old buildings. The modern buildings that they've built on Main Street are usually low-rise buildings like this 3.5-story office building over here. So this view should be a forever view. I've got a video that I did on this unit. This is not my listing, but I did a marketing and social media event in this condominium. And so I got a nice video of it if you have any further interest in it. It's on the 11th floor, and Viewpoint sits a little bit higher up than lower downtown and the waterfront. So you feel like you're higher up than you are. Normally I would say no to a black cabinets in a kitchen, but this unit is so bright, you can get away with it. This unit is kind of a very modern motif inside. It's not for everyone. It's got kind of a New York City vibe going on. Rock and roll and Hollywood and that sort of thing on the theme. I kind of like it, but it's not for everyone. This is your western looking west. Again, this building is wrapped on three sides with glass. And that's the Port of Vancouver Terminal 2 industrial area over there. The western end of the waterfront is right there. And then, of course, you're looking straight over Esther Short Park. So this view is also protected because Esther Short Park, they're not going to put any buildings in there. This is Mount St. Helens over here. It's a wide shot with a wide angle lens, but the mountain's actually a little more impressive when viewed, with your eye. And over here you got Mount Hood, same story there. This is a wide angle lens. You can see the river just cruising on down. Columbia Gorge is out here. This is interesting. So they enclosed part of the patio in here. You'll see that door goes out to the patio. And then this is now enclosed, and it's almost like a little tropical garden area. When you walk in here, they've got this set up to be semi-tropical. So it's warm and moist in here, and these kind of tropical plants are able to grow in there, which is kind of cool. Nice small little lobby mailroom. There's only 32 units at Viewpoint, so it's a nice small mailroom there, of course secure. This is a fitness center that is only for the people in the building, so it's not very big, but there's really not that many people accessing it either. This unit has two, count them, two reserved spaces. These are deeded to the unit, so they are your spaces, and this is down in the third level garage, which is secured from the public. So this is the elevator too. You get out of your car, walk into the elevator room here, and right up to the residential units on the top of the building. People can't get in down here, and it doesn't get hot in this garage, nor does it get cold, because you are 3 levels underground. So basically you're regulated at a probably 50 to 55 degrees like all the time. Here's the lobby. So this is the lobby of the office building. This elevator unit right over here is exclusive for the residents, requires a key fob to operate. The other 3 elevators will access all of the floors of the building, but you must have a key fob to get above the 7th floor where the residential units are. So it is secured. And that's it for Viewpoint. So again, keep in mind, this unit is significantly more expensive than most of the units in Viewpoint, mainly because of its large square footage, and it's got really the best location in the building. Finally, the last building on our list is also, of course, the newest, and it was nearly 20 years since a new condominium project had been built when they finished the Kirkland Tower. Okay, we are going to take a short little hop over to the waterfront and take a look at the Kirkland Tower. Kirkland Tower sits right on the Vancouver waterfront park and the Columbia River. This has become really the hot neighborhood in the whole metro area. It's got a nice urban vibe. It's crowded, but it's not too crowded. Parking is much more available than other urban neighborhoods, mostly down in Portland. People will still complain about the parking, but it's actually pretty good considering how many people like to hang out in this district. There are a lot of restaurants walking distance from Kirkland Tower, literally scores of restaurants in the area, including right near the Grant Street Pier here. Both of those waterfront buildings are just filled with restaurants. There's wineries for wine tasting. There's 2 excellent restaurants in the Hotel Indigo, which is connected to Kirkland Tower. There's just no shortage of activities just walking around. Kirkland Tower. This is the most premium condominium development in Vancouver, one of the most premium in the entire metropolitan area. This is a lifestyle condominium project, very similar to what they do at the Ritz-Carlton. This is a hotel here called the Indigo Hotel, one of the nicest hotels in town. And it is not the same building, but it's directly attached. The amenities of the hotel are available to the residents of Kirkland Tower. However, for services such as concierge, you have your own concierge desk in Kirkland Tower that is exclusive for the owners at Kirkland Tower. You're not using the same, the hotel lobby services. You've got your own services in the building. They do use room service from the hotel to offer room service to the guests. El Gaucho is the restaurant that provides that room service, so this is really good quality food. This is a real premium building. There's several units for sale in here. This is a brand new unsold unit, the last of the 4 penthouses that all went from between $3.5 and $4.5 million. This one is $3.3 million. There are units as low as $1 million, a one-bedroom unit at about $1 million with about 1,100 square feet. It's a pretty big one-bedroom. All the units, regardless of the price, have all the access. So there's no tiered access in the building. Parking is in the underground garage. All right, so we just got the, this is the rooftop, part of the rooftop lounge. Part of it is glassed in so that you don't feel the wind on cool, windy days. And then part of it's wide open like this when you want to be out in the fresh air. Now, this is the highest rooftop space in Vancouver. The building is the 4th tallest downtown, but it is the tallest rooftop patio. Here's your lobby there. This is on the rooftop as well. It's the kind of a penthouse community room. And so you can rent this for private events. It's got a kitchen. Now we're in the unit here. Floor to ceiling glass at Kirkland Tower, guys. I mean, literally floor to ceiling. Really opens up the space and makes you really feel like you're just kind of floating above the city. You really get a sense of space and scale in this type of setting. And this is expensive for them to do in the building. That's why not all buildings have this kind of setup. Now the kitchen here, they should have done another shot looking over this towards the glass. When you're in the kitchen here, you're looking at that corner wall of glass. Keep in mind, we got over 3,000 square feet in this unit. This is the patio. This unit is on the 10th floor. There's only a couple of buildings on the waterfront tall enough to interfere with your view here, and none of them are in the way of this patio. And there's your floor plan. This is the exercise room, exclusive use by the residents of Kirkland Tower. There's only 40 units in here, so it's not a real big fitness room, but with only 40 units, you don't really need a big fitness room. You are on the roof of the building up here. There's some community gardens over here as well. If you want to plant vegetables and whatnot, they'll get great sun exposure on the roof of the building. And then that's the view off the patio if you look towards downtown. This is an older picture, probably a couple years old, but at night you'll get nice city lights. It's a pretty nice view if you like that urban landscape view, which I do. These are the Cascade foothills. So that's really it for Kirkland Tower. There are a couple other units priced under this. Again, they started about $1 million for a one-bedroom with about 1,100 feet. So there you have it, the 6 condominium projects in downtown Vancouver. A little something for everyone. Hey, also, folks, if you're interested in what's going on in downtown Vancouver, be sure to check out urbanlivinginthecouve.com. This is an ongoing blog and website with all kinds of information about downtown Vancouver, what's going on, and what the latest scoop is on activity and development in downtown Vancouver. That's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time, right back here at Weichert Realtors.